What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nick, and I am in the kitchen cooking. It's Good Friday. Normally on a Friday we would have some wings, but because I love my husband, we are not having meat today. Meat meaning beef, poultry, pork, or lamb, anything like that. So seafood is what's on the menu. So basically what's happening today, it's still going to be a happy Friday. It's still going to be fun food. I am making some stuffed jalapenos, but they're going to be stuffed with shrimp and cheese. I have a lot of fixings here. I have some chopped onions. I have some garlic that I'm about to chop up. That's for the star of the show today, which is going to be some salmon balls. And actually, this is going to be my first time making those. I have some beautiful, beautiful salmon. I will show that to y'all in a minute. But my guy gave us some beautiful salmon. It's like sushi grade salmon. And I'm going to use that to make these salmon balls. And I'm going to make them kind of the same way that I do my sneaky veggie and meatballs that I make with standard ground meat, ground beef, ground turkey, whatever. But it always has some veggies in it. Anyway, I'm going to do that. But right now, I'm just trying to prep these peppers. And quick tip about the peppers. These are store-bought peppers. If you want to start a garden and grow your own peppers, when you core these, if you buy peppers and you core them, use those seeds. Take those seeds right there, look at that, and go plant them in the garden. Yes, and you will grow your own jalapenos. So you buy it one time, you plant it, and you have your own, and you never have to buy that thing again. Anyway, moving on, I'm just going to continue prepping these peppers, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to make these salmon balls. So stay tuned. All right, so I've gotten all of my jalapenos cored, and yes, I am going to save all of my seeds. I'm just going to put them in a little bowl here because this is how we live sustainably. Like I said, you take these seeds, you plant them out in the garden, and you might not ever have to buy jalapenos again. You might, because sometimes things just don't work out. But this is sustainable living at its best, at its easiest, and that's what I do. One of the other things, when speaking of seafood, one of the other things we're doing is a seafood boil back here. I don't do crawfish at the house because it's just too much work for me. But we're gonna do a seafood boil. I'm gonna use some of these jalapenos, the ones that I didn't seed. I have some more over here. The ones that I didn't seed in the water. Hubby is over here cutting up some potatoes for me and some corn for me. And we're just gonna do shrimp. We will not put the sausage in. Normally I would do sausage. I'm not gonna do crab or anything else. We're gonna keep it super simple because we do have those salmon balls that we're gonna be using. So let me just now show y'all the star of the show today. But before we go there, let me just tell you really quickly. The peppers today will be stuffed with the cream cheese and some shrimp. Of course, I'll have to mix some things up because we can't use bacon today. We're not gonna wrap them with bacon. So that's what's gonna be inside of the jalapeno peppers. Then, here is the star. Like I said, my guy gave us some beautiful salmon. Look at the color on that salmon. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I'm just gonna use my hand here. I don't mind. The skin, we had this. This was a half of a fillet. I love to eat the skin of salmon. So when I made this last night, it had, I took basically half of the fillet and it was seasoned to perfection. Seasoned to perfection. I'll see if I can find a picture of it, but seasoned to perfection. So we eat the entire thing, the skin and everything. And this is what I'm left with today. So I'm gonna take the skin off for these salmon balls. And I'm gonna see if I can, this will be my first time doing this. So I'm gonna see if I can show you that. And I might not use all of this because I do have another technique that I wanna try from a French chef that I saw on YouTube. Y'all be trying all the things, all the things. I'm gonna be very brave and try that as well. But today I'm being brave and trying these salmon balls with this beautiful piece of salmon. So stay tuned. All right, so I'm just gonna prep some of my things first because I'm really nervous about this salmon and cutting it up and skinning it, doing all the things. So I'm just prepping everything else first. I already prepped my onions. Here those are, nicely chopped down pretty small. Now I'm doing the garlic. Should have done some shallots with this too, but no, I'm not doing that. And I have some cream cheese here. This cream cheese actually is going to be used for both the salmon balls and the stuffed peppers. So I want it to be nicely flavored, very nicely flavored. So I'm just putting all that. Just gonna put my garlic directly in with the cream cheese. I'll use salt and pepper, some parsley, some cilantro, and some hot sauce to finish that off. Now, let's move on to this piece of salmon. I cannot mess this up. So I wanna take out this little rib right here in the middle, the white. I'm gonna take that out. But first and foremost, I gotta take off this skin. I love salmon skin. It is so good for you. And, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I need to take a drink. Liquid courage right there. Also, it's gonna make me a little bit more calm. Love. So anyway, let's go. Let's go with this. Let's go. I'm just sort of pulling the skin off because I don't want to rip the flesh. My knife is super sharp. Always, always. A sharp knife is so much better in the kitchen than a dull knife. A dull knife, you will hurt yourself. Eventually, hopefully not, but you will hurt yourself. So let's go. Let's see what I can do. Okay, y'all, I did it. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good for a first try. I just need to clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna save these scraps for fish stew because I love a great fish stew. I'm gonna freeze that and just clean this up a little bit, and then we'll be ready to go. I'm gonna have to chop this up really small because this is such a great cut of salmon. It should be, I can taste it. I can actually taste it like I'm tasting, say, a ceviche, or not quite sushi, but a ceviche or a crudo, and it'll be fine. So I'm gonna get started on that and then come back and show y'all what I'm working with. I'm gonna save these pieces to do that thing with the chef that I was talking about. All right, so here we go. Here is my salmon, kind of like chopped up, cubed up. And it doesn't matter what it looks like right now because this is going into my handy dandy little food processor. And like I said, this is part of a bigger meal. We're just trying to have a fun meal on this Good Friday. So I'm putting this in my food processor. I just want to chop it up very coarsely so that I can, kind of like you would do with meat, with like ground meat, or not ground meat, but if you take your own beef, if you create your own ground meat or anything else, ground lamb, ground turkey, all those things. I want it small enough that I can make it kind of like a meatball. So let's just go in here and see. Don't need a lot. This might actually be enough. Like, God bless you. Hubby's over there cutting up. Let me show you him. Look at him. Just do what you do. You don't have to look. over there cutting up some potatoes, about to cut up some potatoes. Yeah, he helps me so much. He helps me so much. But anyway, so let me see. I'm going to grab a fork really quickly. Just a little tasting fork to just show you, like, I'm not making this into tiny little pieces. It's just like ground meat, but it's ground salmon. And to that, I'm going to add, you know, all of my other ingredients. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to bake this or saute it. So we'll see. Like, y'all are learning along with me. We're doing this thing together. So let's just make it do what it do. A little bit more of a grind. A little bit more. And let's go. This is actually really cool. It's almost like a salmon pate. Like, look at that. Almost like a salmon pate. I love it. So, let us add in some onions. A ton of onions, actually. Let's do a lot of onions. This is my cream cheese and garlic mixture. All right, so here we go. Here is my salmon, kind of like chopped up, cubed up. And it doesn't matter what it looks like right now because this is going into my handy dandy little food processor. And like I said, this is part of a bigger meal. We're just trying to have a fun meal on this Good Friday. So I'm putting this in my food processor. I just want to chop it up very coarsely so that I can, kind of like you would do with meat, with like ground meat, or not ground meat, but if you take your own beef, if you create your own ground meat or anything else, ground lamb, ground turkey, all those things. I want it small enough that I can make it kind of like a meatball. So let's just go in here and see. Don't need a lot. This might actually be enough. Like, God bless you. Hubby's over there cutting up. Let me show you him. Look at him. Just do what you do. You don't have to look. Over there cutting up some potatoes. About to cut up some potatoes. Yeah, he helps me so much. He helps me so much. But anyway, so let me see. I'm going to grab a fork really quickly. Just a little tasting fork to just show you, like, I'm not making this into tiny little pieces. It's just like ground meat, but it's ground salmon. And to that, I'm going to add, you know, all of my other ingredients. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to bake this or saute it. So we'll see. Like, y'all are learning along with me. We're doing this thing together. So let's just make it do what it do. A little bit more of a grind. A little bit more. And let's go. This is actually really cool. It's almost like a salmon pate. Like, look at that. almost like a salmon pate. I love it. So, let us add in some onions. A ton of onions, actually. Let's do a lot of onions. This is my cream cheese and garlic mixture. Just gonna mix that up a little bit. Thank you. Mix that up. Get a little soft. What I'm gonna do, so that I can taste things as I go, because I love to do that. I think it's very important when you're cooking food to taste your food as you go along. And so yeah, I just want to take this cream cheese and like really whip it up good. Just whip it up. Get the garlic really infused and going through there. And today I'm going to use some dried herbs, but first, seasoning, I'm going to keep it simple because I'm going to make a homemade remoulade sauce. And I just want some spice on there. But not too much, because that boil that's going on over there, hubby is doing all the things. Like he's cutting up the potatoes and the onions and the garlic. There's going to be a ton of flavor over there with that. So I want to really complement that, not compete with it. And then that remoulade sauce that I make later on, which remoulade sauce is just, I'll put a link down in the description. It's really just mayonnaise and some seasonings to make that heat come through, a soft kind of heat. You can use hot sauce or whatever if you just, excuse me, you can use hot sauce if that's what you have on hand, but that's really all it is. Good, just cream cheese. I'm gonna add some more to it. It's gonna go in the salmon. Also, again, don't forget it's gonna go in my peppers, my little peppers, which we're saving seeds from. Like full circle, we're talking about this thing full circle. Just that, and now I'm just gonna add some dried herbs to this cream cheese because I want some freshness in with the salmon. So stay tuned for that. So here we go. We're gonna go in with some cilantro leaves, some dried cilantro, and I'm gonna put that directly in with the salmon. I get herbs like this from the Indian grocer. Like, it's so much more cost effective. And of course, once you use it, it's bag, it's recyclable. I do grow cilantro, I do grow herbs outside, but not using that today. I'm just using these dried ones. So that's that. And I almost put that in the cream cheese. I didn't want to do that. And then some parsley, dried parsley. Dry parsley. And this is some dried basil. I just reused a jar from the grocery store that I had some spices in. And this actually is dried parsley from my garden. You don't need a dehydrator to do that. You could do that just like, it's not, it's basil, I'm sorry. You don't need a dehydrator. You don't need any special equipment. I did this in my oven on the lowest setting and just let it go for a couple of hours until it was completely dried out, and then I just crumbled it up a little bit and stored it in a jar that I already had on hand. So do that all the time. Again, we're talking about full circle sustainability, you guys. So I'm nervous, but let's mix up these balls. Okay. Little squeeze of lemon juice. Uh-oh. Seed. I'm going to keep that seed. Of course I am. Of course I'm going to keep the seed. A little squeeze of lemon juice. A little squeeze of lime juice. The lime is a little bit harder to squeeze. I might have to get my... Yep. My handy dandy juicer. Nothing special, just old school juicer. little bit of lime juice. I find that lime is a little bit fresher than lemon. Lemon gives it that zing and lime gives it that freshness. Let's do that. Mix it up. And I like to season in stages. So even though I season the cream cheese, I'm going to go ahead and season this as well. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. I don't think it needs anything else. And then some breadcrumbs. These, I just make my own breadcrumbs and stick them in the freezer for times like this when I need it. Mix that all up really good. And because this is a great grade of salmon, guess what I'm gonna do for y'all? Watch this. I'm gonna do something for y'all. Watch. I have my little tasting fork. I have it. And I'm gonna go in and just grab a little piece. Grab a little piece. Oh my God. You want to taste it? It's really great. And that is the advantage of having a great cut of meat. Y'all, all my cabinets are open. I'm glad that I keep some nice, clean cabinets because everything is open back there. Anyway, back to these salmon balls. That is the great thing about having a great cut of meat is you can do that. I love sushi. I absolutely love carpaccio. I've never tried raw sushi at home or carpaccio at home. And this is my first time actually. I do ceviche a lot here. I do ceviche at home. But it's not technically raw. It's cooked with acid. The lemon juice and the lime juice that goes into ceviche pretty much cooks the whatever fish or shrimp that you're using. But this right here, y'all, it's all about the freshness of that salmon. And there you go. How am I gonna make the balls? Same way that I make my sneaky veggie meatballs. Let's check it out. That is actually so good. Now that I've added the cream cheese mixture, Lord Jesus. It's so good. So the same way I make my meatballs, I'm just gonna take this using a small ice cream scoop. And then whatever's left on the outside, I just kind of roll it. And there's my salmon ball. Let's cook them up and see what they look like. So y'all saw we got that extra little hit of oil. That was a mixture of avocado oil, EVOO, and hemp oil to give us that extra hit of omega fatty acids because we're packing in the nutrients. That's what we're doing. We're packing it in. So I'm gonna put this in the oven on 400 degrees, just like I would like if I was doing a filet. 400 degrees, and I'm going to try for 10 minutes to start with, and then check it after that and see how it's doing. All right, it's been 10 minutes, so let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Those are my salmon balls. Oh my gosh. They smell. Can you smell those?
Yes.
They smell amazing. I think they smell amazing. So, I'm going to give them 5 minutes on the other side because I don't want them to overcook. And then we should be good. Let's check these. Let's check out the peppers. The peppers, I want, same thing. let them go a few more minutes, and then I'll put them under the broiler for a hot minute to like crisp up that cheese. But everything is looking absolutely amazing, balls. I'm excited. Are you excited? You excited?
Yep.
They're gonna be good, babe. All right, so another 5 minutes in the oven, and this is what we got. Salmon balls, and oh my gosh. That one right there is like man overboard, that one right there. But they look amazing. So, babe, you want to taste the salmon balls and see what you think? This is without sauce. No sauce.
Yep. Flavorful.
Oh, I love. Okay, so remoulade or no remoulade?
Remoulade.
Awesome. This is my first time, you guys. These are salmon balls, and I'm going to try them next and see what they taste like. But I think that this recipe is a keeper, and it's going on the blog, and I'm going to share it with everybody. As a matter of fact, let me try it. Let me try it and tell y'all for sure if it actually needs anything. Let's go. It's hot. It's hot, super hot. Really good. Let's see. Can you see inside of there? Really good. Very tender. Very. This is good. I think that the next time I do it, I will add a little bit more seasoning because this would be really great without any sauce. But I'm going to make the remoulade anyway because hubby said so. So thanks for tuning into this video. I hope you got something out of it. And I hope that you will try making some of these dishes and also try saving some seeds and putting them out in your garden or starting a garden or put them out in a pot or whatever you do. Till next time, you guys. Bye. Whatever, but it never did it. It never worked for me. Did yours ever work, or did you try it?
I didn't like that technology. I never tried it.
So you don't even use it on your Samsung?
No.
Oh yeah, I use that all the time.
I'm a simple guy.
You ain't gotta be though.
Sure.
Sure you gotta be simple? No, you don't.
Makes the world go round.
What?
Yep.
You're weird.
Nope.
I like for things to be simple.
So think about this. Back in the day when we were growing up, things were simple. Look at all the technological advances that have been made. Man, things are super complex right now. And an individual person has the ability to be super and like complicated, you know? So you didn't really have that option back then. You have.
Oh, I know. You ain't, listen. You ain't telling me nothing. You ain't hurting my feelings. I'm just saying, like, with regard to technology, use some of that shit. Not all of it, just some of it. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of these things are like, if you want to use the technology, you got to accept it all to use just a little bit.